Welcome, everybody, to the Week 3 edition of the Web.com podcast for 2017. And Brock, Caleb,
Hi.
Hey,
it's not really weird anymore, guys.
I just want to say it's such a blessing to be here today.
I was going to suggest that maybe we take some time to kneel while I played the national anthem. But
Take a knee, baby.
in order of keeping this a non-political show, we're just going to talk about fantasy football. How's that sound?
Sounds nice.
Stick to sports this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, this week was kind of back to what we're used to seeing here in Web, and that is Brock and Dan doing disgusting things. Scoring points. What the hell is that? But at the same time, we still have a few kind of weird things going on. And now, 3 weeks in, we have to start thinking about, are these teams really going to be like this? So let's just jump right into it, guys. How about that?
That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
All right. So I am a failure as commissioner and forgot to post game of the week poll for the second time in 3 weeks.
1 for 3.
I'm so sorry.
That'll get you in the baseball Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, man.
So, just kind of perusing, I just kind of nominated myself and Dave.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Fine with rolling with that.
All right, good. We'll start there. So, it was kind of a little shaky Sunday. Back and forth, pretty close for most of the afternoon. But in the end, I was able to pull it out, move to 3-0. What do you guys think? And I'll tell you what I think, but you start.
I'll start. Hell of a try by Dave there. He's back in the Dave range where he's respectable. We'll see if he can take it to the next level. Your team, though, I'm ready after this week to declare you officially playoff, maybe title contender.
Really?
Like those running backs are legit. Like Kareem Hunt's not gonna keep going for 50-yard plus touchdowns every week, but other than that, he's still been an RB1 if you take those away, I think. And yeah, Fournette, Cook, Hunt, I feel like that's legit.
And for me, like that's after 3 weeks and 3 weeks of all three of them performing at a pretty solid level. I'd say that you're probably correct, but my wide receivers.
It's interesting.
If I'm speaking objectively about a team, I'm going to say that this team has not good wide receivers. And if it wants to take the next step, something's got to change in those spots. Because I don't think the running backs can carry me to a championship, maybe to the playoffs. But
for sure.
Yeah, to the playoffs, definitely. But yeah, I know we were talking about the wide receivers. It's just Dez being mediocre. Keenan is above average, and then you have to start Tyrell with Corey out. So you're starting 2 Chargers receivers.
Yeah, and like with you look at my bench options, like I had, a 14-point performance out of Taylor Gabriel, 11 out of Ted Ginn, but it's like those are the kind of guys that you'd start them for 4 weeks and they score 2 points a game, and then
I feel like your defense though provides that 55 to 60 point base, and then pairing it with your running backs, that's gonna get you to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe you need those stud wide receivers to come through once you're in the playoffs, but I feel like you're setting up to be one of the most consistent teams in the league. Definitely. And that's already kind of shown itself because you've been 160 within 5 or so points so far.
Yeah, the running backs and the defense just give you such a high floor, really. And then the wide receivers, whatever they can do on top of that, like Dez and Keenan have high upside each week. But yeah, the groundwork of this team is just gonna keep chugging along for most of the season and maybe right in the playoffs.
Yeah, number one defense right now. That's kind of like a rock. And obviously I was pretty happy with it going into the year, so it's not a surprise. The Devontae Parker trade was, considering how he's looked so far this season, it could be the difference in having a solid wide receiver core this season and not. But at the same time, Corey Davis is still to be determined whether or not he's going to do anything this season or whether it's more of a future pick there.
Yeah, that was almost a little bit of a mini rebuild trade if you think about it.
Yeah, kind of. And I mean, I knew what I was potentially doing there by doing it. But yeah, 3-0. Obviously happy with the start. Kareem Hunt is unbelievable. Dave's sitting on the couch on Sunday, and we're within like 4 points, and all of a sudden Dave just goes, "Oh fuck!"
What happened?
Kareem Hunt broke a 70-yard touchdown run with like 2 minutes left. That was funny. But yeah, Dave put up a great fight this week, and he's got a solid little roster. I mean, there's some pieces there.
Team's obviously not a playoff contender yet,
right?
But like it's shaping up. Like Carlos Hyde could fetch like a serious amount here if he keeps playing the way he is. And then Line 2 shaping up to be a potential trade deadline guy.
Yeah, I was talking about Thielen this weekend. Like, when is this guy going to get the respect that like he is very clearly showing like he deserves? And Dan said, well, he won't get that until he's black. And I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Probably true.
I mean, he's got nearly 200-yard performances in 3 weeks, had a really good last season. That's the kind of guy that I think is perfect deadline target for a contender that needs a wide receiver. So,
it sounds like a team we just talked about.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Dave, I got your number. I'll be in contact. All right, Caleb, were you going to say something?
I was going to say the waiver wire pickup of DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know if you guys watched the Monday night game, but this dude is just lighting it up. He's already got 7 sacks on the season, averaging 15 points a game. That's huge for a team that is historically like not a very good defense. So
yeah, that's a great.
We talked about how Dave had to improve in that regards this year as far as improving that defense.
Yeah, so that's huge for him, was getting DeMarcus Lawrence. All right, well, let's move on to the game that we all were watching this weekend because we just wanted to see how high he was going to go. And the answer is 230.7 for A-Brack, a team that was obviously off to a slower start, 0-2. But 1 week jumps him right into that number 1 scoring spot. And not only that, but he did manage to, score the 5th highest total ever, or 4th highest total ever, sorry.
That's wild that 230 only gets you 4th highest. I was thinking I was closing in on the record, and then we got stats guy Caleb comes in and just like, no, you got like 20 points to go, man.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Well, it's even more ridiculous considering, what your team, like your offense this week was. I'm just like adding up the scores and I'm like, oh, there's another 20. Oh, there's 230s. It's like just unbelievable. And speaking of which, that 157.7 from your offense did in fact put you in the top 10 in that regard all time. I believe 7th. And it's first time since 2015 that we've had an offense do that. So this was a special performance from a team that needed it. And
so you tell me Parker never had a top 10 offensive scoring week last year?
No.
That's insane.
I'm gonna confirm that in the next 5 seconds while you talk about yourself, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I just want to think. One of the differences. There's 2 differences between last week and this week, and they were Ray Armstrong and Marcus May. Marcus May had put up his goose egg, but Ray Armstrong stepped in off the bench. New leader, Ray all day. That's the reason.
Who is that?
Or it could have been Gurley. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that too.
Great,
Yeah.
great week. Like get Gurley right in on Thursday. Drops that 33. Least stressful week of fantasy football I've ever had because it was pretty much just all in from there. Like Clowney got that touchdown, and after that, it was just off to the races.
I mean, it was so fitting too because after Thursday night, obviously you had the 32 from Gurley, and Dan had the 26 from Watkins, and it's like, okay, the writing is on the wall. Like these
what's
teams
gonna happen? Yeah,
are gonna come back big, and obviously you both did. But yeah, huge performance from your offense. Lots of touchdowns. Brady has an unbelievable week.
that's been fun so far.
Yeah, and the thing about this game though is like Carter had a really impressive showing, it felt like, and it's just he loses by like almost 80 points. But at the same time, like we have been talking about Carter like the last 2 weeks, like how we kind of like what he's got going on a little bit, and like he just keeps showing it. Like these wide receivers are very impressive for him, and this week was a whib of 6 for him. So I mean, not a bad week. It just happened to be a really tough matchup. So
yeah, and he's got the wide receiver one, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Stats. #stats.
I was talking about Doug Baldwin too. Like Caleb's like pawning Doug Baldwin off for like a year and a half, and then finally does it, and then it's like you kind of see it and you're like, wait a minute, why didn't I trade for Doug Baldwin? It's like everybody's kind of like, wait a minute, is he actually good?
It's like the unanimous, like most underrated wide receiver, like all the time.
Oh yeah, I could not get him for even a second. It was tough, like peddling with people, and like at that point, I pretty much talked myself into like, I might as well just keep, like, this dude's actually good. Why am I trying to trade him? Like he was a top 12 receiver back-to-back years. Like I don't know. I still like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's certain players where it's just like I just accept that what they're gonna score for me is more than I'm gonna get for them. Like it's been DeMarco Murray for me for like the last 3 years.
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna ever trade DeMarco. He's gonna die on my team.
Right. Well, I just think it's funny too and we kind of saw this a little bit last year at the deadline, more so than we had, and I think we're going to see it again. Is like teams put so much emphasis into trading for like dynasty like value, like how does this move make my team better from a dynasty perspective? But I think that it's also going to be more prevalent in the future and probably this year to see teams going out and making trades for guys who are performing in the now, like not like it seems like every single time you're trying to make a trade, it's like for a complete stud, and it's like teams are flipping these massive amounts of stuff, and it's like there's nothing wrong with just making a solid little trade, picking up a wide receiver one, similar to what Calvin did last season, and I mean I think we're going to see more of that moving forward as teams kind of understand.
Yeah, we definitely saw it a little last year too, like Devontae Parker for Jordy, like Jordy or top prospect for a 30-year-old wide receiver. And I think we're going to keep even seeing, like you said, more of it as we keep going. Like I think with winning is getting a little more important now than in the first couple of years. It's like, oh, I want all the picks.
Yeah, set up your team,
young guys. And now it's kind of like, oh, I want that belt now that the belt's real.
Yeah, you're going to get people paying for that belt. That's some of these trades are, All right. One final thing on Carter and his wide receivers. I like Tyreek Hill a lot. And there's been a lot of buzz. I've been hearing that a lot of teams are in on this. So if you are one of the teams that is interested in Tyreek Hill, just know that you're bidding against like 4 other teams right now. So step it up.
This is all news to me.
Get in.
I gotta get in on this.
All right.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, Caleb. All right. Anything else on yourself, Brock?
Running through. Nope. Shout out to Joe Schobert.
All right. So we had another 200-point team this week. Already at 50% of our 200-point game total from last season of a whopping 4. We have 2 this week. Dan, 202. His 10th 200-point game of all time. First one to hit double digits in that regard.
Congratulations.
Big for Dan. And he saw some things out of some players that he really needed, and we've kind of been it's been a theme over the last 2 weeks. We've kind of been, knocking his guys a little bit. But they came back in a big way. He had a really impressive offensive performance this week to go along with what I think was a 71-point defensive performance. So big win for Dan, 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Plus, you got Sammy Watkins now, who apparently paired with Jared Goff as the most electric pair in the league. Thursday Night Football. Yeah.
That Goff, the Rams' new and improved offense is really fun. And bringing to life the Gurley and Watkins. So
started Njoku.
Wild move. Out of him.
Expect it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was well, I mean, at this point in the season, with what he's gotten out of Jimmy Graham, I mean, it was kind of his only option.
Yeah,
and it ended up working out for him. And the other thing too was
down now too.
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of a shaky tight end situation. So obviously, like Njoku was a great draft pick given what's happened. Flexing CJ Anderson over who we were proclaiming pretty much like dead Jordan Howard, and now it's
I never said anything of the sort.
I said it. So that was huge for Dan as well. Even though he didn't get those points on his total for the week, the Jordan Howard resurgence, and also like the fact that Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen are both coexisting and still both putting up like big point totals is also like kind of nice because it's not like a pick or choose necessarily right now.
Now just put Trubisky in, everyone will be all set.
Yeah, Mike Glennon, what the hell? I know it's gross. Say it. Just say it, Caleb. He's a gross man that looks like a bird.
Bird man.
So unfortunately for Josh, runs into a 202-point Dan. But silver linings, of course. Chris Thompson.
Yeah, electric.
Yeah. What the hell is that about?
Like, this is all of a sudden getting very, like, strangely, weirdly real. 24.8 for Chris Thompson again this week.
How many people have had Chris Thompson on their roster in the last, like, 2 years?
I feel like it's at least 50%. Probably closer to everybody. So
I don't know. He's always been like he could like succeed in PPR, but like that's not us. Like this dude has 14 carries on the year, and he's the 3rd best running back in the league right now.
That is nuts.
And it's kind of like like the Chris Thompsons, the Theo Riddicks, like even a little bit of like Gio Bernard in there, like guys that could be scoring a lot better in previous seasons if it was indeed PPR, and then you see him just kind of scoring a lot of touchdowns, and then they are suddenly very relevant.
Those kind of guys, they go on like hot streaks. Like there's like at least 1 3-week stretch like every year where Theo Riddick is a god. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why I have him. I'm not expecting like anything out of him. Just like I hope I can get him in there on those weeks. But impressive performance by Kaiser.
That's great. He had three interceptions and he still scored 21 points.
Yeah,
so rushing base, man.
Oh wow, 7 for 44 and a touchdown.
Oh yeah,
Kaiser.
So that was nice for Josh to see. Potential quarterback of the future putting up some points, and Obviously, we talked about a little bit. Devontae Parker looks to be the real deal once and for all.
In a week
what do we think?
In a week where they got destroyed. He got that touchdown with literally 0 seconds left. Yeah. That was as garbage time as garbage time gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But hey, Allen Robinson became like Dynasty Player 2 because of garbage time. So, but yeah. So yeah, Josh 0-3, but a little bit of promise there for some of the guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Parker and Caleb.
What a shit show.
It was bad.
You guys were like competing on who can. I want to lose. No, I want to lose this week. No, I want to. God damn.
So this season, I've been going into the podcast saying, I'm going to just going to put it out there. This is a sports podcast. We're all about takes. We're all about speaking objectively. And I'm going to objectively tell both of you and the rest of Webb that I don't think Parker's team is very good anymore.
Yeah,
I think it's coming to an end.
Cam's got, I don't even know what's going on with Cam.
Yeah. We were watching Red Zone and just Cam was throwing picks. Jameis was throwing picks. He was getting really, really pissed about that. But Cam just doesn't even look good. I don't know. It's
weird. It's really weird.
I mean, obviously we all, the David Johnson injury, with having him in the lineup, it looks a lot differently. But as it sits right now, and just kind of seeing, like the fall off of Cam and like what's going on with his running backs. And now he's got Kelvin Benjamin's hurt. I mean, this is looking like it could fall off the rails really quickly. And he's averaging 125 points a game or something, 129 points a game. So, and a week low this week. I don't know, guys. I think that this team is. It's weird to see him like this, but it seems like it's not really a fluke at this point.
Yeah, like those top three carried him last year. That Antonio Brown, David Johnson, Mike Evans, and now he's down 2. So yeah, Gilly didn't get the touchdowns that he's so dependent on.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Cohen.
It was a rough week offensively. I don't think he's going to be this bad the whole year, definitely. But
no, I mean, like what I'm trying to say is like he's one of the best ever last season, and now we're looking at potentially like a 7-7 year. So you never really know, but that's just from what I'm seeing and injuries and all of these other things. It's looking like it could be kind of brutal.
Maybe it's a little bit of a retool year for old Parker there.
Yeah.
Do some soul searching on who his quarterback is.
Yeah.
Get David Johnson back next year. I would say get a draft pick, but who is that?
I think the best course of action for Parker is just trade Hopkins to me or something like.
Ooh,
obviously,
not for anything good, but I give him like something.
Just kind of to unload something.
Just shake it up. Like I got Big Ben. That's a good quarterback.
Big Ben. You need someone to solve the quarterback issues.
That's a good quarterback.
And Big Ben.
Caleb, I was teasing you on Twitter yesterday or Sunday or whenever the hell that was, but you did manage to pull out the victory, and you are 2-1.
Yeah,
and as you said,
that
it's
away
not
from
pretty.
him.
It's so ugly.
Yeah,
let's check some bright spots here. Bright spots. Michael Thomas got red zone.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins is back. You like that? You like that?
He's good.
Joe Mixon
looked good. Looked really good.
Very good. What the hell is going on with Amari Cooper?
He's completely gone. No hands. Can't score a touchdown.
I mean,
that Raiders offense was awful. Sunday.
That is Crabtree had a very bad day.
Yeah, bad all around. But I mean, yeah, Cooper didn't look good the game before. I don't know. It's a weird time. Weird time in Oakland. Weird time for Amari. I still have faith in the guy. He's 23. So
yeah, as is dynasty overreaction season now.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is apparently the best wide receiver out of the 2015 class because he had 2 good games, and Amari Cooper is having a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Twitter is a lovely place.
It's just hilarious to watch that though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just people like Jordan Howard, like he was done. Cooper's done. It's just so stupid. But yeah, so Caleb, you're 2-1. And Pac-5's looking not bad this season so far. And
got a pretty split.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. I think Caleb, I kind of said it before the season. Thought you were going to be in the mix all year, and I think, there's some room for improvement, but you'll be right in there.
Low key, lowest scoring team in the league right now.
Yeah,
at 2-1.
Yep.
Just scratching and clawing out some W's here.
Yep, that's what we do.
Sometimes that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The luck factor is definitely on pace for last season's mark, but
that's what keeps it fun.
I just want to not have to do that at some point. Like a game and just be like, you know what, my guys are gonna do good, but I don't know who's gonna do good week to week. It's so hard to watch. All I know is Kuechly will get like 8 or 9 tackles, and that's all I know.
So
one consistent.
Yep.
You are not the only lucky 2-1 Pac-5 team. Hashtag segue. Tim is also 2-1 now. He has the same luck factor as you, which is highest in the league. And he also doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I was going to chime in there. Also a trash team.
Yeah. I was we were talking about this a little bit on Sunday. If I trash Parker, I have to also trash Tim a little bit. Because
I just noticed this though. I don't want to take it too far here because his offense, like when you look at those the 2 RBs and the top 2 wide receivers, looked real good. And if Tim would just not be an impatient little douche and just start Russell Wilson, he would have had like 170 points this week.
Yeah. He did have 105 out of his offense this week, which is a very obviously respectable total. But yeah, I mean, it's just questionable lineup decisions. He somehow got a touchdown out of Vernon Davis, like picking him up 2 days before the game. Didn't even know Vernon Davis was still in the league.
For sure. Well, you got Russell Wilson, notorious slow starter, and you got Trevor Siemian, who Tim literally just picked up. Starts Trevor Siemian, the 7th round pick.
I really hope that I can find this quote from Tim in a decent amount of time.
I didn't even notice that he did that until the games were over, but I should have known that's something that I should have known that was happening. Like for some reason it shocked me, and it definitely shouldn't have.
I mean, the good news is Odell looked like Odell.
Jesus.
But the kicker here is that Tim hasn't stopped trying to trade Odell for like 2 weeks now. So is this team in a crisis? Is he panicking?
He hasn't talked to me. Well, why does no one talk to me?
Because look at your team.
We got Tyreek Hill. I don't know anything about that. Apparently, Odell's getting just. This one makes me mad because I asked him about Odell in the offseason. Said absolutely no way, bro.
Yeah. If you heard some of the demands that he has, though, it's never gonna.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable.
I'm not even counting it then.
Yeah, he just wants to shut up about it. I hate you, Tim.
Is he just doing it bored?
That is exactly what I told him today, and he said I was correct. So that just really quick, I want to read this from Tim. This was the thought. I have inside information on the Trevor Siemian start. Okay?
I want to hear this.
Starting Trevor Siemian, and no one can stop me. And I will admittedly say that I said that. What?
Was this quote before the game, or is this after?
This is Friday.
Right.
Last Friday. Okay. And I will admittedly say that I replied it was the right move. And then he said, I'll fight anyone who tells me Seaman isn't the best quarterback in the NFL. So I think he was really right. Didn't work out.
He deserved every bit of that.
Yeah. I take no blame for that. He's an idiot.
We need to get more Tim quotes. Didn't we have him? He had like a whole speech over his win over Dan.
Let's have a weekly Tim quote.
Yeah. they're always a good chuckle.
They're pretty great. Kelvin, another one of those teams, kind of similar to Carter, like has really good wide receivers that are like potential trade targets for some teams right now, I think. Brandon Cooks has an unbelievable performance, 27 points. Michael Crabtree, we talked about the Raiders just sucking, so he had a bad week. But overall, like I think Kelvin, traditionally known for not being an active trader, may look to change that this season and maybe pick up some assets moving forward. He's 1-2 right now, so.
Does this team kind of remind you of like pre-2016 Dave a little bit? Where it's
a little bit, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Like good, like talented veteran players, but just not enough to, make a real impact on the league. He's averaging 133 points right now. So, I mean, it is what it is. We kind of all predicted it. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe he can, this would be a perfect season for him to maybe do that, make some of those trades. These guys are kind of like right in that prime area of their careers, maybe a little bit closer to the tail end now. So capitalizing on some of those things.
Yeah. He's right in that wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? We didn't know. Wait. Yeah. Yeah.
That was it?
That's it. Sweet.
Wow.
Nice little week 3.
For sure.
So we have some questions this week because Abrac finally remembered to do it because I was never going to remember. And 2 of them directed at our new stats guy. So Caleb, I want you to take the floor here and explain to me what you found.
All right. Well,
let's earn that paycheck here, buddy.
For first things first, thanks for adding web.com Caleb on those tweets. It was nice waking up this morning. Had 9 Twitter notifications. Just makes me feel good inside. First question comes from CV at Carter Velker, who says, highest WIB on a team with a losing record. Well, if we go back in time to 2013, there was a man who had a 4.6 WIB and went 6-8. That was Dave. 6-8, 4.6 WIB. You can compare that to my WIB last year. I had a winning record of 8-6, which was 3.6. So a full point higher, and he had less wins. So yeah, I guess unlucky for Dave that season, but
not to mention 1.1 higher WIB than the Brock team that won the championship last year.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Which was the lowest WIB to make the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
I always forget how wild last year was.
It was pretty wild.
That was the season where you were like,
I hated my life for most of the regular season.
Yeah, well, it didn't.
It was like every week. It's like every week I was putting on like 130. Like just barely beat Tim.
All right. Next question.
Next question we have is from Mingo at Mingo Fresh, who says, which team that went on to make the playoffs has the lowest points per game after week 3? Well, if we go back in time and look at this,
that's a real in-depth one there.
Yeah, I actually had to
You had to clarify it with me.
yeah, I had to text him and figure out what that exactly meant. It's a very weird question. But this team in 2013 averaged 138.5 points per game through the first 3 weeks of the season and made the playoffs, and that was Tim.
Okay.
So you look at that 138, that is pretty not a great start at all. You compare that to, or you got to chime in here.
Keep in mind that
Scoring.
20 if we did add the 11 points, it would end up being like 148 or whatever.
All right. Well, if we did that, the next closest would be Dan in 2014, who averaged 145.3 through the first 3 weeks of the season. So,
yes, the 1-7 Dan year.
yeah.
Is there even 4 teams averaging over 145 right now? It's going to be broke.
Different after. Well,
Nope. 3.
Oh, there's
There's 3. There's Dan, Brock, and Korf all over 145.
So the reason that I asked this question obviously was because of Tim and Parker, both, sitting in the high 120s right now, and both preseason playoff favorites. So, that would be a massive turnaround for both of those teams, considering that the previous is, depending on how you want to look at it, 139 or 145. So,
yeah,
kind of a big deal for those teams right now. Is turning around their scoring.
Yeah, definitely.
Lucky for them, it was a slow scoring for everybody. But
that's true.
That is true. But
it's still weird
regardless.
to look at it and see these numbers and be like, God, they suck. And then it's like, wait a minute, it's like everybody else is the same. So, All right. Thank you, Stats Guy Caleb, for those great stats. You are incredible, and you have earned your paycheck this week.
Thank you. Glad.
You can put food on the table.
You can
eat this week, bud.
So the final question is something that we've talked an incredible amount about, but never on the podcast. So I think it's time we get this into a formal discussion. The worst trade in web.com history.
Wow.
So after today, I'm looking at 3 trades. I think there's a big 3.
Big 3 of that. Okay.
I don't remember what the Trent Richardson trade was exactly, but that's one of them. Then we got the Rob Hausler and Stephen Ridley for Jimmy Graham in peak Jimmy Graham. And then perhaps the winner that I completely forgot about this trade till today.
Caleb didn't.
Dan brought up. The Aaron Rodgers, Sammy Watkins, I don't even remember, but it was all good players on Dan's side and all not good players.
Rodgers, Watkins, and Le'Veon for Peyton Manning, Eddie Lacy, and Josh Gordon.
That trade just amplifies Dan's savviness, because it was right when Le'Veon got skinny, and I remember Dan telling me hey, Le'Veon looks good. I think I'm gonna go get Le'Veon. That week that trade happened, and it was Le'Veon took off right after that.
That's crazy.
That trade single-handedly made the team that Caleb ended up inheriting 0-14.
Yeah, I mean,
it's actually a real thing that the team went 0-14 after that trade was made. It did make it to the title game that season that the trade was actually made, but the following year, after Peyton Manning was cooked and Eddie Lacy was fat and Josh Gordon was weak,
it was
it was over.
That's the worst one. Plus, Judy promptly dropped Josh Gordon right before getting booted from the league.
Yeah.
And ended up with a retired Peyton Manning and a ginormous Eddie Lacy. And for the top one of the top wide receivers, Sammy Watkins, the top running back,
Mm-hmm.
and the top quarterback in the league.
Like,
Wow.
think about what that team is with those players. Like a solid little core moving forward. And it's just like he picks Watkins number 1 overall, and just,
that was the ultimate sell high, buy low on each player in the trade. Like each one. He destroyed him on each element of the trade. There wasn't anything good on Judy's side, and there was nothing bad on Dan's side. It was just amazing.
Like quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Complete overhaul by Dan. Like just made all 3 of those spots instantly 5 times better. And seeing what's happened in the following years, 100 times better. Because those guys aren't even playing anymore.
Also, a trend I noticed with these trades was each one was lopsided. Like each one of these 3, Dan got the good end of.
Yeah. And then people stopped trading with Dan.
Mm-hmm. So really worth
it. Dark horse that I'm going to throw in is the Alshon Jeffrey for Jamal Charles and DeAndre Hopkins trade. Simply because Hopkins became better than Alshon Jeffrey in a short amount of time, and you got
Jamal had
a monster Jamal year. Yeah,
it was horrible that year, but looking back, it's not awful.
Yeah, I mean, it got you 14-0.
That's true.
But yeah, it was pretty bad. It was awful. I still kind of have nightmares about it. We were talking about that too.
We pondered that one for like an entire day.
We did.
316.
I will never forget shaking your hand for that trade. We were standing in the kitchen, and I was watching Alshon Jeffrey highlights, and I was just like, love him.
Ride.
That was pretty Let's Ride days. I would have been screaming it if it wasn't. Oh man. Yeah, I think we've definitely gotten better with trades, though. It's people have figured it out
pretty long ago. Yeah,
including myself. I've made a lot of bad ones.
A good thing to go. It's going to take a little work to figure this out, but maybe next week. But we could look back at most like low key, like I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, but trades that looked bad. Just like we could look just at the time they were made,
and
like
then
just
ended
straight
up
up you just got owned in negotiating. Maybe never scratch that. Scratch all what
I like that. I like the idea. Well, we'll flesh it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, because there's definitely been trades where it's like, wait a minute, what happened?
Trades. The most trades were like, did you just do that?
Yeah.
What do you just do that for? Those kind of trades.
All
Not
right.
trades like Trent Richardson where he just it erupts after like a year.
I'm convinced that I cursed Corey Davis by trading for him because that's just what happens when I trade for young stud players. But yeah, guys, let's do a quick week 4 lightning round predictions and then we'll call it. All right. Corf and Caleb. Let me say real quick that I am 4-0 all time against the Cody, Judy, Caleb team. So I'm going 5-0 against you at 4-0 in general.
Considering I picked you as a title contender earlier in the episode, I'm going to pick you 4-0.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead. Rebound. No, wait, I won this week, not a rebound. They figured it out, guys. They figured it out this week.
All right.
Have your children with a W.
3-1. Okay, so we got Josh and Parker. Last season didn't
Parker,
go so well for Parker.
Parker's playing Josh. Could be 3-1. Everything's good in the hood.
Or he could be 2-2 and lose to Josh for the second year in a row in the non-conference block.
Or that, yeah. If you wanna
which
be
is what I'm
pessimist
going to
about it.
pick.
Wow.
Josh with the upset.
Ooh.
Give me Parker.
Give me Parker. Keep it in the family.
Chris Thompson, 45 points. Carter and Tim. This is kind of a sneaky, fun little game, I think.
Yeah.
Because Carter is looking pretty solid, and Tim's kind of like, he's getting there. So this could be a fun one.
Just
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
pick-
and take a pick at Tim's starting lineup here. Make sure there's no surprises.
Yeah. Who's he gonna bench next?
He's getting benched to wake up this week. Russell
I can see
guaranteed
a
4
Duke
points.
Johnson start over a J.
Oh yeah, never know.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe
I'm
a
going with the
Sean
upset.
Jackson.
Give it to me.
Carter. I'll pick Carter too. I like it.
Oh,
Tim.
let it ride, Caleb. Oh, come on. Give me the clean sweep.
Dang it, Caleb.
Sorry.
God dang it, man.
Brock and Kelvin. Title game rematch.
I always pick myself.
I mean, I'm gonna pick you. Remember last week when I picked you and said week high, and then you scored 230 points? Yeah, suck it, Caleb.
I recall. Yeah.
I got a wow. I don't know about that.
Revenge game. Revenge tour for Kelvin.
Ooh.
Kelvin.
Now you pick
Oh,
it
yeah,
up.
championship rematch. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And
Who
then
you
we
pick?
got Dan and Dave. Can the boys get to 3-1, or is Dan back for
He's
good?
back.
It's intriguing. It'd be really interesting to see a 3-1 Dave team and a 1-3 Dan team.
I would enjoy Dave being 3-1 because he's a stand-up guy, but I'm picking Dan.
Stand up. Is he kneel down guy?
Is it- Oh, Jesus. We said no, man. Caleb.
Give me Dan.
Okay. Nice.
Wait,
All right.
Did you pick? I didn't pick yet.
Oh,
Who
I'm
did
sorry.
you pick? I want to make.
I picked Dan.
All right, pick Dave.
Nice. We should go back and actually look at these because
Records. Yeah.
I've been picking a lot of upsets, and I feel like I've not gotten any right.
I did a lot of upsets last week. I was just throwing it out there.
Oh man. All right. I'm trying to think if I had any other little tidbits. Stats guy, you got anything?
No, that's.
All right.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
I should be
I'm gonna have to
prepared.
read in that paycheck that I just sent out.
Little Jimmy's gonna have half meals this week.
no.
Oh God, no!
All right, fellas. Let's make it a great week 4.